So literally like 2 days ago, I did a video talking about how the iPhone 6s and the iPhone 7 were kind of in a weird spot in 2019 because Apple was doing some weird things with them in India. And, as we all know, and I talked about in that specific video, I was like, India, is a struggling market for Apple. They don't have that large of a market share. They only had like 1% or something like that, less than 2% of the market share of phones in India. And just ultimately, not a lot of people are buying iPhones in India when there's just so many different options. There's so many different lower budget options as well. And I just hit on that literally like a couple of days ago. And Apple literally today, out of nowhere, stops the production of, first of all, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, which I thought they were already stopped. I thought that happened like a couple months ago, but apparently they stopped those. But another thing they just did was stop the production of the iPhone 6s Plus and also the iPhone SE. Now, the 6s Plus, maybe, I don't know, maybe people in India don't want to get like huge phones or something like that. I have no idea. Maybe Apple looked at their sales and said, you know what? It's really no point. Nobody's buying them, so we might as well stop production of it. But the iPhone SE is the one phone that I honestly, it's just such a dumb decision that they just did. If this truly is the case, now if this is all speculation or whatever, then that'd be one thing. But based off these reports, it's looking like it's actually like a real thing that they're doing. Now this will make the iPhone 6s the lowest cost iPhone that will be sold in India, and that is still selling for a little bit over $400. An iPhone 6s that came out in 2015. So when you convert the Indian currency to the American dollar, that thing costs over 400. You know what you can get in America for 400? You can get an iPhone 7, which came out a year after that. But more importantly, in the used market, you can probably pick up an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 8 Plus for $400, as I have before. In America, you can get like an iPhone 6s for like $100 in the used market, and it's insane that Apple is selling an iPhone 6s that's probably only going to get like one more version of iOS, maybe if we're lucky, for $400, which is a massive amount of money. But the thing is that the iPhone SE was still available for sale apparently, and that was selling for less than $400. It was selling for around $300. I think what I saw was 350 American dollars. So when you convert that to Indian currency, whatever, you guys get it, that is a much better deal. That's still honestly kind of expensive, but that would make a more enticing deal to a lot of people, because in India and basically the whole Asian market, there's so many amazing cheap phones out there. You have Xiaomi, you have Huawei has a humongous market share in the Asian market, but I think Xiaomi is one of the biggest ones. Samsung, even, they have a lot of low cost options, even though they're known for their flagship Galaxy and Note lines. They have a lot of low cost options as well. And that is the one thing that Apple, I don't understand what they're doing. Why would they stop? I mean, the way I see it, they're already making the iPhone SEs. Why don't they just go and just sell them there? And with the 6s Plus, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's a smart thing. I don't know. I honestly don't really care about that. I feel like that has a less of an impact. I mean, maybe people care about it. You can still get them online and everything, and you can do the same thing with the iPhone SE as well. But I just don't understand, if somebody's going to go into the store, they want to, sometimes people are looking for a low cost option, and if they go in there and they only see like $400, $500, $600 phones, I mean, I'll be honest, even here in America, like, I'm like, man, $400 for a phone, that's kind of a lot. I mean, before I was even doing YouTube, if I didn't have this YouTube channel, dude, I would not spend like $500 on a phone, to be honest. Because I know I can get a used phone for like $200 and make it last. Like with my iPhone 10, I bought all my phones used except the newest ones now that I have to get. But like, if I didn't have this channel, I would not be even thinking about getting a brand new phone. But in the Indian market, if Apple does stop the iPhone SE production, which apparently they are, that will make it so in the used market in India and in Asia, that will make those phone prices go up as well, because there's scarcity. There's just not a lot of options out there for people to get a cheaper iPhone. So that will just make the used prices in India go up for specifically the iPhone SE, because there's still a lot of people who want to get an iPhone SE. And if there's just nobody selling them, that's just going to make that situation even worse. Now, you could say that same thing here in America. Apple's not selling the iPhone SE here, so why are you even focusing on it? They're streamlining their thing, whatever. And to that, I mean, yes, there's a little bit of a backfire there. I mean, it is streamlining it a little bit better, but you can still, as far as I know, get iPhone SEs on Apple's website in America. But another thing is that in India, I mean, the average salary is a lot lower in India and just overall in Asia. And when you have that, you can't just necessarily streamline one country's products to the other. And I wish that was the case. I mean, I wish Apple was still selling 6Ss and iPhone SEs and 6S Pluses in the Apple stores here. But in India, because statistically the average salary is lower there, much lower there than compared to America, they need to have lower cost options there. And when you're looking at these other companies like Xiaomi, Huawei, Samsung that are offering these lower priced phones there, Apple has no excuse to not develop some sort of cheaper iPhone. And the iPhone SE was there for people to buy, but now apparently that's not an option. They're stopping the manufacturing of it. Now, on the flip side, this could potentially mean, now this is so out there, like it's probably not even going to be, there's like a 1% chance this is even going to happen, but it could mean that Apple is getting ready to develop a cheaper iPhone that's potentially even cheaper than the 6S that they're going to start selling in India. The chances that's happening are probably like 1%, not even, it's like a tenth of a percent, honestly. That's probably not going to happen because I don't see them dropping a phone less than $400. If the 6S is selling for $400, why would they put one that's cheaper than that? It's probably going to have better specs than that, so it makes no sense why people would even pick up an iPhone SE2. Let's say if that were the case, if that is for less than $400, people would just buy that instead of the iPhone 6S. So honestly, if Apple wants to succeed in the foreign market and start getting more sales and market share of those phones, honestly, they have no choice but to adapt and make a cheaper phone for those specific markets. Now, they can make it for those specific markets, like I stated, or they can just make it all over, just make a cheaper phone all around the world, sell it in America too, sell it everywhere, and then let the people decide. But ultimately, I think this is a really weird thing they did. I don't know why they did this. There was like 40 different ways they could have went about this, and they literally picked the worst way, in my opinion. Obviously, Apple knows more about their company, but that's just all I have to say. And these are all my opinions. I'm just a guy sitting behind a mic who happens to own a couple iPhone SEs, and that's it. But I don't know, man. That's how I feel. If you guys relate to this, if it hits you the right way, let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button. That'll mean so much. But definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check that out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. And hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.